Shantha here from Wednesdays with Shantha. Thanks for all the love shown so far in the chapters what we saw on Shall We Dance. Let's continue our journey and unfold further more chapters. Hi everyone. So as I was reading this chapter 17 in detail, I thought it's good to understand about Swara, Talam and Nattuvangam from Ram, like how we heard about Dwani in our earlier video. So let me welcome Ram.
Hey Shantha,
Hey,
thanks
Ram.
again.
Yeah, hi.
So this chapter possibly needs one more video to explain.
Yeah, because there's so much of information, Ram, that I couldn't stop in one video, right? So I was going through about Swara while I was reading a little more deeper in the chapter. So that sounds like a rich background, right? So can you tell me more about it, please?
Okay, so if you look at the way the Swara itself comes up, that's about a note in the octave as far as the way it's connected with nature, because our whole understanding of music is based on sounds that comes in from various animals. So typically, for example, if you look at Sa, right, it's supposed to be connected with the cry of a peacock. Whereas if you look at the way a Pa is also the call of a cuckoo. So the type of birds which influence the sounds has been codified. So the Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, each one of them has an influence. And I think we have referred to one of the chapters, one of the persons who has written a good article on how these were based on, and these are interpretations, but still becomes a bit more spiritual the way you understand.
Wow, that's really fascinating to see how deeply all of these concepts in the nature are related, right? So what about this spiritual and cultural significance in Swara?
Okay, so there is one part of Swara which is attributed to, there is the Nambudiri Brahmins who are based out of Kerala. What they do is they perform a yajna, which is basically offering to the fire. And this happens once in 12 years. They call it the Athirata Yajna. And during those 10 days of the chants that are done by these Nambudiri Brahmins, which they do, erect a pandal and do it, you cannot even write the script that they are basically chanting.
Wow.
Those are sounds of birds and animals. That's how the deep connect is.
Wow, that's something which I really didn't know about. That's very enlightening. And how does this, now that we're always talking about Bharatanatyam and that's our theme here, how do you integrate this with Carnatic music in Bharatanatyam?
So again, see, like we said, there is no way you can have a dance complete without music.
Absolutely.
So the Carnatic music, which is a classical music from South, that literally forms the backbone for Bharatanatyam. The dancer literally uses the Swara, and then there is the Talam and the Padam. Now these two, Swara relates to the notes, Talam is to the rhythmic cycles of it, and then the Pada to the lyrics and the themes that based for the music. So this integration makes it very seamless, and it will be a very, very big part of storytelling in Bharatanatyam.
Okay. And now that you spoke about Taala, right? Speaking of the rhythm, how does the Taala fit into this?
Oh, that's a brilliant one. So if you think about the Taala as a rhythmic cycle, right? It's very crucial in the way the musical time compositions are done. So the beats which are there, they vary based on their subdivisions which are going to form the part of the Taala. That's the basic structure of the way the music is done. And each composition will follow their own rhythm patterns for it. So the Talam, most of them will be set to an Adi Talam, but then the moment the Talam changes, it will be something that musicians will have to adhere by. And those will basically influence the performance of the Bharatanatyam dancer as well. So the rhythmic precision is what basically makes it that much unique and connects Bharatanatyam to music.
Okay. So now that we have fairly covered about Swaram and Talam, the most interesting part, what about Nattuvangam? What is this component in Bharatanatyam?
Okay. So if you look at Nattuvangam, it primarily is basically the playing of the cymbals. And that's tradition going back in time. It's actually a few, I would say centuries, not millennia from what I can think of. So the person who is basically playing for the musical part for the dancer to come up with the emotions, he must have a deep understanding of the dance and music. And that will basically go a bit further. So his interest can go into literature, the whole part of traditional components that is there, and he understands rhythm. So the person who basically plays the Nattuvangam is called the Nattuvanar.
Okay.
And that Nattuvanar, he's going to basically improve the whole, I would say, enhance the performance of the dance with his accompaniment. And actually, in the newer generation, rhythm pads have taken over, but the traditional part has musical instruments which will combine for enhancing the dancer's ability.
And thanks, Ram. I think this conversation was really insightful for me. And the depth and the complexity of this Bharatanatyam, right from Swara, Dwani to Swara, Talam and Nattuvangam, is truly remarkable.
See, it is a profound art form. And if you think about how interwoven the music plays for the dancer to come up with the way they perform, the audience will lap it up. When this particular blend of music and dance come together, you have arrived. That is the essence of the chapter.
Absolutely. And I think readers, if you're really curious to understand more about all of this, please do read this chapter.
This chapter, I think, gives you the blend of all music and dance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Shantha.
Thanks, Ram.